No, I actually remember how to do that.
Let's see.
Not
Waiting
yet.
for confirmation.
Not yet.
Ah, come on. Why is there Why is there always technical issues when I try to stream? Come on.
You don't stream enough.
We hebben 190 miljoen
Oh,
bomen
I'm getting an ad,
Waar ze
so I
het
think
hardst nodig
we're
zijn.
live,
Hoe
maybe?
we dat gedaan hebben? Door een zoekmachine.
Net meer refresh,
Oh.
yes we are.
Ah, yes, there I am.
Oh,
Yeah, we're live.
Ah, yes,
All
there
right,
I am.
we're
Yeah, we're
live.
like, hello.
Ah, yes,
All
there
right.
I am.
Yeah, we're like,
everyone.
hello everyone.
Yes,
Yeah, we're like, hello everyone.
Yes, there I am. Oh,
We are
thank you.
here once again, reunited.
Reunited with the history man.
Reminder for everybody to go on their Discord and promote possible history.
Hello, chat.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Let's just dive right in, I suppose. So I actually got myself a music setup for this one. So, we're getting so advanced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, welcome everyone to the first ever episode of Possible History, the game show inspired by Would I Lie to You, where we have 6 contestants who are going to be telling you historical tales, and you, as well as the other contestants, have to determine whether they are fact or fiction. So, let's meet our 6 contestants, starting with AlternateHistoryHub, who has failed to show up so far, but we're hoping that maybe he jumps in somewhere during the stream. Then second is GeneralKnowledge. Welcome.
Hello? Am I? Yeah, this is Renan. So.
Then we have Call Me Ezekiel.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on again. It was a lot of fun last time. Looking forward to this one.
Cheers. Kraut.
Hello, thank you for having me on.
No problem. Revignon.
Hello everyone, we meet each other once again. Let's see who wins this time.
And finally, Rewriting History.
Hello everybody, I'm the cheap knockoff of Possible History, here yet again to entertain you with facts and knowledge.
Alright. So, before we start, let's quickly run through the rules of the game and the plan for today. Like I said, each contestant will offer up a small premise about a historical tale. The others will then start asking questions of the person speaking, trying to determine whether they are telling the truth or whether they are making something up. The simple question then is it real or is it fake? The chat, as you can see in the top left, is also participating in this, as each tale you will vote on whether you think it's true or false. The guessers will get points based on whether they got it right or not. If you got it right, you're going to get a point. If you get it wrong, you don't. And on the other way around, the one telling the story will get a point for each person getting it wrong. Is it clear for everyone in chat and in the call?
Yeah.
All
Makes
right.
sense.
In that case, I think we can start with the very first story, which is Call Me Ezekiel.
Yes, so just to reconfirm, all I'm starting with is a short phrase.
Yes, you're starting with a short phrase and you're leaving it up to the rest.
All right. My story is a colonial conflict in which the colonized power tried to lose and almost accidentally won.
Okay.
Does it involve the United States or the 13 colonies?
No.
Is it in India?
Yes.
Well, he can tell the premise before we actually attempt to ask questions. So, would you like to start?
No, he told
Well,
the
no,
premise.
it wasn't. Isn't the point?
Good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was enough. Now we have to ask questions.
Yeah.
But the thing
Oh,
is
really?
that I don't want to ask too many questions because I have some sort of an idea and I don't want to other people to know what I'm thinking, you know. So I'm
Does
going
it,
to
does
take
it
it slow.
does it involve a European colonial power?
Yes.
Okay. Did this happen somewhere near like modern Afghanistan?
Near it.
Okay.
So the
okay.
Sikh thingy.
Which
Is that a
Sikh
question?
thingy?
Sikh, the Sikh tribe that controls Delhi.
You're asking if it involved the Sikhs? Yes, it did.
Yes. Okay. Because somebody said near
Hmm.
Afghanistan, and I just wanted to be sure that it's the Sikh.
Okay. Okay. So the power that wanted to lose in question. What? Why did they want to? Well, don't tell me
Very
that's like
good
a very
question.
telling question. But like,
Should I
don't know.
answer that, or does he need to be more specific?
More
If he wants to
specific, for
ask
sure.
it, he can.
Okay.
Did it involve Britain?
Yes.
Were France? Oh no. Were Britain and Sikh the only participating countries?
Were they the only participating countries?
Yes.
Strictly speaking, other powers were involved, but for all intents and purposes, it was just them.
Well, that's your
Mm.
usual conflicts. So
I see.
Hmm.
the thing is that I have an idea, but I cannot ask my questions because other people would get to know what I'm thinking. So that's I have to play
That's a
4D
consideration you have to make.
Yeah.
I have one, I think. Was this closer to the beginning of British colonization of India or closer to the end?
Definitely closer to the end.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And-
okay.
wait,
That's something I did not imagine. I was thinking of like, So at this
By-
moment, the Soviet Union is like not interested in India all that much. They're just kind of like elsewhere.
I think he means something else by the end, not the end of decolonization.
Oh,
but the end
oh,
of,
oh.
conquering India. Am I right?
Right.
Well, didn't the British land in India? I don't know the exact date. It was around 1700 when they had their first colony there.
Well, they were basically finishing up conquering
yes.
India, right? This is when we're talking about.
Okay, so what you mean by the end of colonization is more
Okay,
like the
so if
end
there's
of
two halves, the
expansion.
first half and the second half. This is in the second half of Britain's history in India.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else to ask.
I
Well,
can,
you don't
but
even
I'm
want to know
not
why
gonna.
they tried to lose?
Yeah.
Why did they
There's a
try to
lot-
lose?
There's a
Like,
lot I'm
what's-
still wondering.
Uh,
I mean,
my assumption why they tried to lose is because they wanted to become an overlord of somebody else. So if the Sikh wanted to lose on purpose, maybe they wanted to become a colony of France or something like that. Is that so?
yeah.
Or was I assuming wrong the whole time?
Strictly speaking, correct, but I will actually give you a freebie and elaborate on it. The reason they wanted to get conquered is that their leadership was extremely corrupt and their own army wanted to out them.
And they ended up
Hey.
winning the conflict, which is interesting because the army wanted to lose, but the army was the one who actually won the conflict. Right?
No. They almost accidentally won.
Yeah, sure, but that's how.
Okay.
Because if
So-
they almost won, then the army somehow pulled a miracle.
So, I have a question. Is this more like a rebellion thing or an intervention thing?
No,
Like, did
It was a traditional style power conflict.
Okay. So it wasn't, for example, that one of the factions of these like society that was incredibly corrupt, decided to like attempt an uprising, helped by Britain.
There were no uprisings.
And then they were like,
the
no.
army was
Okay,
following
okay.
their orders.
Okay.
Possible History, can you update us on the time?
How are we doing for time, by the way?
Yeah,
You guys
exactly.
have 4 more minutes to decide whether you think it is true or false.
Hmm.
While they think
It
of
sounds like
questions,
a-
I have a scoring question. Do we get a point for each person we tricked, or is it just they get it or they don't?
You, as the speaker, do get a point for each person you tricked.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, any other
Hmm.
questions from the contestants?
I think so. Actually, I'm gonna help some other people out.
Okay, I'm just gonna jump into it and say it happened.
All right, fair enough.
No,
Yeah,
no, I'm just gonna
yeah.
say it happened.
I'm gonna say
Is
so as well.
Everyone
I
ready
think
to
it
vote?
happened, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, I'm ready to.
all right,
How
let
do
me
we
start a
vote?
quick poll.
Should we just type in chat?
You guys can tell. I mean, you're in here.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it is true or false? I will put the question to the audience as well. So the chat also has a chance. So we got Kraut and who else said true?
I said
think
true,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
I also say true.
Did everyone say
So
true?
everybody. I think so.
All right, then let us wait just a couple of seconds for chat to make a decision. Really becoming very clear here. Chat is also voting true with 90%. So with that, Ezekiel, will you reveal whether your statement was true or false?
This was a real historical event. It was the
Nice.
first Anglo-Sikh War.
Okay.
Mm.
Very nice. So that means that everyone, including chat, gets a point on this first round. Except for
Yay.
Commie Ezekiel, who sadly gets nothing yet.
Yeah,
then
my strategy did not play out how I hoped it would.
Cody also gets a point even though he isn't there.
Yeah,
Imagine he's the winner.
it's like
Wins by not being here.
Yeah, he just
He's
wins
like
this entire thing.
shadow
You can't
managing
lose
the entire
don't play.
situation. This was his plan.
Oh, this is genius. Alright, let's get the scores updated. Before we... Oh, that is horrible. What happened there?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Appear I made a mistake. And let's update the scores. There we go.
Somebody needs to get fired for that.
It's only me, man.
Guys, Cody is typing in the Discord.
So, good job, chat. You guys also get a vote as we moved on to the second story. Which is by
I suggest we
Revignon.
wait.
Oh, okay. So, in short, this is a story about how one of the Mexican states was created. And basically it came about because Santana, the president of Mexico at the time, he's the wife of the governor of a city. And yeah.
Wait,
He was...
can we start over again? How Mexico was created and then...
No.
No.
Mexico has
Then I'm
many
sure.
states, right?
Okay.
There are many states in Mexico, and this is how one of those states was created. There were two cities in the state, and Santana basically kissed the wife of a major in one of those cities, and like to settle things with the major, he said like, "Yeah, bro, I'm doing a state. I'm making you a state."
Okay.
That sounds like the way how Italy dealt with the Vatican in the 1920s. So could be inspired by a historical event, or maybe history is repeating itself.
Was that in the 1800s?
No,
It
no.
was in
1922 or 24.
specifically 1835.
I was talking about Italy, I guess.
Which state is this?
Aguascalientes, and the state it became independent from is Zacatecas.
Is this state now a part of the United States of America?
No, it's like in northern Mexico, but like not at the border.
That's still relatively close to Mexico City if my geography is not completely screwed up.
It is, yeah. Like if you wanted to drive over to the place in question, I think it's like a 6 to 8 hour drive, depending on like how
People in
fast
North
you want to
America,
go.
that's close.
And it sounds like the kind of shenanigans that the Mexican oligarchy did at the time, but it's such a specific story.
Was this like an affair situation, or did he like force a kiss on the woman?
The way it happened was that they were at dinner, and then they were just kind of like hanging out, and they were telling Santana, who came over on a state visit, because there was a rebellion in Zacatecas that he wanted to address, that, yeah, bro, like the Zacatecans are so mean to us. We don't like this. We'd be willing to do anything to become independent. And then the guy looks at the governor and his wife, and he's like, anything? And yeah, he kisses the woman.
Okay, if Santa
Was
Anna
this
is involved in
before
anything,
or after the Mexican-American War?
This is before the next Mexican-American War. It's in 1835. The Mexican-American War was in 1848.
Ooh, sorry, that was the wrong question. I meant the Texas War of Independence.
I'm not sure when the war was, but it was in that same era. Like it was in the decade. There's like a less than a 10-year difference from the Texas Revolution. Yeah.
the problem I have with you and this is it's a hell of an outlandish story, but since Santa Anna is involved, pretty much anything is possible. Because
The people in chat are saying that Kraut should know this because he made 3 hours worth of videos on Mexico.
yeah, but I didn't go into history.
Sometimes it's not enough.
It was a series on the border. But yeah, I will acknowledge that Santana did like very outlandish things. He lost a leg in a battle, and then he made a temple to that leg.
Exactly.
So yeah, like this is an outlandish character. Yeah.
It's incredible.
To ask a question, since
What was the name of the woman?
Luisa.
Luisa.
What was her full name?
Luisa Fernandez, and then the second half of the name would be like her husband's, de Garcia Rojas. Yeah, Luisa Fernandez de Garcia Rojas.
And then what was the husband's name?
Pedro Garcia Rojas.
You guys have 5 more minutes, but if you think you're ready,
I want to ask a question before we proceed.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what your answer was, if it happened before or after the Texan Independence War. But
I am not super sure because right now the exact date of the Texas Revolution is keeping me.
okay,
But
yeah.
it happened like within 10
Like 35,
years.
36.
Right? Yeah.
No,
You have to keep in mind that this is a time period, the 1830s, where Santa Anna ended the Mexican Republic, declared himself dictator for life, and pretty much half the country just flared up in rebellion, and he spent like years just marching an army all across the country, just crushing one rebellion after another, after another, after another, after another. It wasn't just Texas; it was pretty much almost the entire country.
Yes, and part of the reason why he's here, like why he's in this moment in this city, is because he's trying to suppress a rebellion in Zacatecas, and Aguascalientes, the city in question, was like sympathetic to the centralists, not to the federalists. Yeah.
So it was part of the political scheming to weaken
Have this
punish
extra
Zacatecas for the rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say if you wanted to weaken Zacatecas, then there was like something you could do here. By taking away one of the bigger cities of the state. Yeah,
You know, that sounds like something he does, but I have a feeling maybe the story about the kiss is a lie. So maybe you're disguising a truth with a lie or something. But you're very smart in picking Santa Anna because you can tell any Outlander. It's like 18th century Berlusconi. You can make up any Outlander story and it's true. It might be true because it's him.
Yeah. He did live a very like maximalist life in that sense. Like I could have picked stupider stories about the guy that would have probably been equally outlandish.
Okay, I don't want my decision of this to guide anyone else's decision. So let's all type it into the chat at once.
Fair enough.
Post it at the count of 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
Okay.
I'm still missing Ezekiel.
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel?
I DM you, or do I just say it?
Oh, you can just say it
You
now.
can just
Everyone else
say it.
has gone
You
already.
can just say it, yeah.
I'm saying
I think it's true.
All right.
Wow. And look at the
So-
YouTube chat.
The YouTube chat actually decided that the story was false with a 60% vote, but all of our
Alright.
contestants have decided that the story was true. Revignon, do you want to reveal the truth?
Though the story is true, the events it discusses are false. So no, it did not actually happen. But it's a foundational myth in Zacatecas, and actually, well, Mexican states don't really have flags, but they have coats of arms. And if you look at the coat of arms of Aguascalientes, you will see a pair of lips breaking chains. But no, didn't happen.
So
The
what
chat-
exactly was fictional in this story? Like some events were changed and mixed up.
The kiss did not happen, but yeah, as Kraut said, this was part of like a wider political intrigue. Santana wanted to weaken the Zacatecan rebellion, and one way that he did that was by going to Aguascalientes and making them like essentially independent from the state. So he carved out a part of Zacatecas, made it a state, and Zacatecas lost like its second biggest city at the time. Yeah.
If
But
I
it was
may-
intrigue.
winner.
You did a really good job in the TV lead there.
Yeah, very good.
Like,
Yeah,
that was very well done.
you've taken a commanding lead with 5 points compared to everyone else's 1. And chat is actually in second place
Yay.
with 2 votes now. So, good job, chat. With that, are we ready to move on to the third story?
Can I take a bathroom break? I'm sorry for
Absolutely.
I'll-
Absolutely. Then we'll wait, and I will check who's actually the next person up. Yeah. Okay, it is actually Kraut, so we do need it.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, it would be a little mean to Kraut if we started it without him. He wouldn't even hear the story.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll just fill in for him.
There we go.
Okay, so
So I
Revignon.
imagine chat's just looking up all these stories to get the vote correct, yeah?
They can.
You guys
I mean,
in chat don't
it
need to
might be.
lie. We know your secrets.
Chat, be honest. I'm actually just gonna have a poll. Are you being honest?
Are you being honest?
But if they answer no, we'll create a paradox. Everyone answer no. I want to see what
That's
happens.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Are you being honest? Let's see what they say.
Are you lying to me?
I mean, to be fair to chat, they aren't actually able to get more points than Revignon anymore, I believe, even if they get everything right, because they don't get
Yay.
the people votes. So,
They have defeated the chat.
Oh, I'm
Alright.
sorry for that.
no problem.
Wait, I had my headphones on, Ezekiel, while I was taking a... Yeah.
See, I'm watching out for you.
Yeah, you are. Okay, so it's my turn.
It is your turn. So,
Okay.
whenever you're ready, let's go.
Okay, my story is about why the Habsburgs became the most powerful house in the Holy Roman Empire. And the reason for it is because, as part of the inheritance of Rome, that apparently not so legitimately, or legitimately, depending on how you view it, became the Holy Roman Empire, the inheritance of Rome literally was written down in documents. There were documents that, with decrees from Roman emperors, which became part of the Holy Roman Empire. And as part of that, there were two documents, in one of which Julius Caesar decreed that for their loyal service to the Roman Empire, to the Roman Empire, the Habsburgs would be rewarded with a permanent seat on the Senate and shall be exempted from all taxation in the Roman Empire. And another document, the will of Emperor Nero, declared that the House of Habsburg shall for its loyal service be rewarded with a crown, the position of special counselor to the Roman Emperor, and will no longer be required to bow before the Emperor. And these special privileges, dished out in these documents, is how the Habsburgs became the most powerful house in the Holy Roman Empire and eventually dominated it.
Right. Quite a head start he gave you with his explanation, so good luck.
Can you tell us, like, if there was a specific service or what they did to initially gain these good graces?
Oh, I actually do not know that. I just know that the documents exist, and the special rewards are a permanent seat on the Senate, which the Holy Roman Emperor translated to, I think I'm a bit Warhammer brained right now, where it's elector count, but not elector count. What is it? Elector baron is, I think, correct. It translates because the Holy Roman Emperor, in the Holy Roman Empire, the elector barons were basically seen as senators, and the Habsburgs got a permanent seat in sort of the Senate. That was what Julius Caesar apparently gave to the Habsburgs, and they were exempted from all taxation in the Holy Roman Empire, meaning that in their lands in Austria, they didn't have to levy taxes for the emperor, but could only levy taxes for themselves. And what Nero gave them was they didn't have to bow before the emperor like everyone else, all other dukes, etc., had to. And that they were special counselor to the emperor, meaning the Habsburgs had to be involved in every political decision made by the Holy Roman Emperor.
I'm a little confused because
I have two for you, Kraut.
Okay.
The first, the point of your story that these documents are something the Habsburgs claim to have had, or is the point of your story that these documents are real and were genuinely bestowed upon them as you described?
What do you mean? My point
like
is,
a lot of royal families will claim something happened in their past to create legitimacy for themselves that didn't happen.
The point of my story is that these documents is what gave these documents, these last wills of Roman emperors, is what gave the Habsburgs the political powers to become the most dominant family in the Holy Roman Empire. Sorry.
Okay, so in that case, I would ask: are these documents real, or were they fabricated by the Habsburgs?
They are real, very real. I mean, they made the Habsburgs the most powerful house in the Holy Roman Empire. It's how they became Holy Roman emperors in the end. Ravignon.
I see. I have a question. Like, aren't the Habsburgs German? Like, how did they get?
That depends. Like, we both worked on a research and a video together where we traced back the family lineage to, what was it? The Duke of Elsass or something like that. You know the
Duke
lineage.
of Alsace, yeah, but he's
So,
like.
So
So
you
the
know
Habsburgs
already.
are French?
I say. No. This is like a different monarch. But yeah, I mean, the Habsburgs are German, but they claim these documents from like a certain lineage from Italy, maybe, or.
Yes, no. They insist that these documents granted the Habsburgs. That these documents granted the Habsburgs these privileges in the times of the Roman emperors. of the original Roman Empire, not the fake Holy Roman
Okay.
one.
I see.
What was the name of the family these documents were originally bestowed to?
Habsburg, the House of Habsburg. I'm
Hmm,
pretty. Or was it the Duke of Elsass? I'm not entirely sure if it was the Duke.
I see.
That is something I'm not entirely sure about right now.
Right.
Any other
Mm.
questions?
You guys have 4 more
Is
minutes.
I am ready to vote.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think me too.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
If everyone is ready to vote, go to the chat again and all put your answers in roughly at the same time.
Oh God. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Being everyone,
Why is
including
everybody
chat,
so
claiming
unanimous for the
false.
third time?
Mr. Kraut, will you reveal
Okay,
truth?
it's true.
Wow.
What?
Yes. So I'm gonna post. What did the chat say? They said it wasn't true.
Chat would
Yeah.
very much know, like 90 to 85%.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
true. It's true. I'm post a link in the chat. This is called the Privilegium Maius. Quite literally means the major privilege. So what happened is in the 1360s, the ruler of the House of Habsburg, Rudolf IV, wanted to get more powerful. So what he did was he hired someone to forge 2 documents, the last wills of Julius Caesar.
I
and
asked you
Emperor
that.
Nero. You did, yes, and I told you.
I asked
The
you if they were
document-
forged or not.
No, you didn't ask. Did you ask if they were forged?
He did.
I think he asked if they were real, not if they were forged. But
just asked
I think the word I used was fabricated.
I think so.
Okay. Well, yeah, the 2 documents, one by Julius Caesar, one by Emperor Nero, gave the Habsburgs all these privileges, but they were fake. They were forgeries. And the thing is, there were no archives. There were no archives at that time. There were no paper. How do you prove if that is a forgery or not? So the amazing thing is the Habsburgs got away with it. That is how the Habsburgs became so powerful. Because of these 2 forgeries.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Well,
Did you ask me
how
if they
do
were
you-
forged documents? Because I don't recall that.
I'm
At
not
the very least, that was
totally
the intent
sure.
of my question. If I asked it
Yeah.
wrong, that's on me.
Yeah.
I
No,
do,
but
I do
I
think
think
I
I-
remember the question, but
Did I fumble it?
Ask the chat. They
I
should know.
think I said that the documents gave the Habsburgs the powers, but I think I evaded then if you asked if the documents were real or not.
okay.
Wait, you asked?
I will take the point loss because I was like genuinely thinking like, oh, these are like German.
Yeah, me too.
My logic was that the documents were false because they were given by Romans to Germans, and I was like, these can't be real. But
Yeah,
if the
same
documents
here.
actually exist, yeah.
I should have.
I was like, the Habsburg. Habsburg is a German name. Why would did the Habsburgs
Yeah.
or even call the Habsburgs in like
No,
15
yeah.
BC?
The
Like even
privilege-
back in the day. Like sure, the family lineage might have existed, but under a different name.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
made
yeah,
up
yeah.
like they quite literally made up ancestors that don't even existed. They didn't even exist back then. So this is because obviously this is nonsense. Because I mean, the provinces that belonged to the Habsburgs, Noricum et Retium, were not even part of the Roman Empire when Julius Caesar was alive.
Yeah.
So the forgery is
exactly.
very
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will take the loss because I was wrong for the wrong reasons. So, yeah,
fair.
too.
I don't know.
The rest, I understand what you mean, Ezekiel. I remember the question. I am not totally sure if Kraut made the mistake. We'd have to watch the footage back. But what do you want to do?
It's fine. We can move on.
All right. In that case, we're moving on to the next storyteller, which will be rewriting history.
No way. So, my story is about Bulgarian camels, which were present in the 20th century. And their fate is a bit interesting because when communism took over Bulgaria, most camels were sold to a butcher in Haskovo for their meat, and a few made it to a zoo in Kırjeli. That's all the information you're getting from me for right now.
And so
Okay.
Why were
there's
they
no
sold?
camels there today.
One by
that's
one.
about it.
So, what question am I answering?
You
Is this
go,
like a
Ezekiel.
native? Is this like? Okay, Ezekiel, you can go first. I'll ask my question later.
Oh, mine's kind of silly. Why were they sold?
Well, because they weren't needed anymore. You know, when communism take over, it was like 46, 47. So basically, we had roads, and the camels were used to transport goods, where roads weren't present. So they were just simply not of use anymore.
So they don't exist at all today.
No, I don't think so.
Is this like a native camel, or was it brought over from the Ottoman Empire?
Define native. Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, is it like a species of camel that was just like hanging out in Europe, or did the Ottomans bring it over from the Middle East? Like, how did the camel arrive to Bulgaria? I guess.
Was this part of the Great Migration?
They came from the Ottoman Empire.
The Great
Okay,
Migration
okay.
of camels?
Exactly.
No, the Bulgars came in what century? The 6th
Okay.
century?
Imagine.
Mhm.
No, it's not.
Okay, is this camel more Asian or more African?
I cannot tell you.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah, guys, one by one, please.
Okay. There's a monument in my city to the camel, because when the siege of Vienna ended, the Ottomans left so fast they left their camels behind, and the people in the city, they paraded the camels around, and they were sort of a tourist attraction for a while, and then they ate them. So maybe something like that. Yeah.
If you don't have any other questions, I would be happy to give you a hint since I asked about.
Yes, I would love a hint.
Well, these camels not only existed but actually fought for the Bulgarian army. They were employed in the 127th Regiment.
Wait. In
They
like the
fought in
20th
wars.
century?
Yeah,
The Balkan
Oh,
War.
shit. Damn. I am very conflicted. Okay, I'm gonna submit my answer right now. Does anyone else have like?
I'm gonna give you more information just to
Mine too,
confuse you.
Okay.
Well,
Uh-huh.
these camels fought in the first battle of Chatauja against the Ottoman Empire. And they were the decisive factor.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, well, we've submitted 3 answers. Kraut says
I'm-
it's true. I say it's
I'm
false. General
guessing
knowledge
it's
says
Ezekiel.
it's true. Yeah. Ezekiel? What do you think?
Ezekiel, you here?
My connection may be dying. Should I vote?
Yes.
Yeah, you should.
If you understand what is happening, you can.
If you can hear me, it's true. Every word of it.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
Let's see. In that case, Mr. Rewriting, will you reveal
Yes.
whether it's
well,
true or false?
Ravignon is the only person with a different answer. So if this story is indeed false, he is going to get a lead that I don't think that anybody can surpass. But on the other hand, if the other people are correct, then Ravignon loses a point. And this story is indeed a true story about Bulgarian camels.
No! See, here's the thing, right? I have a friend from Turkey, And he told me a long time ago that, camels are not native to Turkey, but there were a bunch of people who went over there on vacation and were like, oh, where are the camels, right? Like, because they just kind of went to the Middle East expecting to find them. And what the Turks did is that they got a bunch of camels and they taught them to wrestle, and now there's like camel wrestling in Turkey, but it's not native, right? Because there are no camels in Anatolia. It's just like a thing they did for the tourists. So I was thinking, like, will there be camels in Bulgaria? What? But yeah, that's why I wanted to know if it was like an Asian or an African camel, but okay, it's fine.
And they also are apparently very useful because, as I said, they fought in Thrace where they basically weren't any roads. It was just all mountains and all that.
Oh, yeah.
This was the way of transportation, pretty much.
Now that I think of it, it makes perfect sense to bring back camels into the Balkan Wars, into the mountains.
Yeah.
Yes, they did fight in the First Balkan War, in the First Battle of Chatauja, where Bulgarians almost won and captured Constantinople.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll give you the article, my sources. I'm the only one to cite sources. There you go. You can take it.
Whoa.
It's a quick read, like 3 minutes.
Camels in southeastern. I cannot believe this.
Yeah, it's a fun read. Especially how they butchered the cows. Not the cows, the camel. They were like, okay, you're done. Not needed anymore. And they just killed for their meat. And some made it. Oh, I forgot. Oh my god, I was about to swear. Some of these camels actually made it into a movie. Hitter Petter. So some of these
Really?
camels, they made it into a movie.
Oh. That's so much fun. Okay.
I heard it tastes really good.
Wait, was this the original camel, or did they get a camel actor to play these ancient heroes?
No,
From the original camels.
Fair.
they were descended. They got like the child of. So. Okay. Well,
God,
that's
imagine playing your parent who was butchered and eaten. That's awful.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, imagine like the fate of
There's gonna be some
camels,
pad post-credits interview about like reliving the horror of the experience.
Yeah. I lost, but I lost in a way that I'm very happy with because I learned something. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there was
Are we
no
ready?
way I was going to.
Are we ready to move on to the next story?
We are, yeah.
All right. General knowledge, it is your turn.
Okay, so my story is that during the reign of Napoleon in France, specifically when he was emperor, there was, I guess you could say, a bizarre situation where he ordered the construction of a mechanical horse. And if you want, I can provide some more context or just answer some questions.
What?
Why did he order the construction of the horse?
That is
So
a great question. What?
There were two, or there's a single reason, and then there was a reason that people thought at the time and sometime after, which is wrong, and I can tell you both. He ordered the horse because there was a epidemic of, I think it's like sleepy horse disease. It's something that they get with mosquito bites. And so there were very few horses of the horse that he preferred, which was the Arabian horse, while most of the French cavalry used thoroughbreds from Europe. But he didn't want to, and so I don't think there was a real intent to use the horse, but he ordered its design and construction, sort of to figure out if it would be possible to use.
Sleepy horse.
So this was intended for battle.
Well,
They were trying to
theoretically,
design-
yes. I don't think that he had that intention. I don't think he believed that it would happen. It was just he came across this problem where he suddenly didn't have a horse, and he thought, what if this was a permanent reality? Could we do something about that and sort of create one ourselves?
Wow.
I know he liked
Where
he had.
where
he
is the
had-
horse?
Good
Sorry?
question. What happened to the horse?
No.
Do the horses survive? Are they kept somewhere in a museum or something?
There were only 2 horses that were created as prototypes. They were never used in battle or in a real life scenario. None of them have survived. They don't exist.
Oh,
Was it a play thing for him? Something that he liked to play
No, I don't
around
think
with?
so. I think it was just a concept thing.
Oh.
There was also a belief that he, and it went a little bit hand in hand with the British propaganda, that he was very short, and so some people believe that it was so that he would look more impressive in battle. This was not this part was not true at all.
Hmm.
Can I ask you if the designs of the horse were inspired by Michelangelo's drawings? Since he had
No,
some futuristic stuff.
There's a lot of comparisons with like the not Michelangelo, but I think Leonardo da Vinci's tank that he sort of created a concept for as well. But I don't think so. Not with Michelangelo.
What year was this?
Not sure, but it was after he became emperor, so not when he was first consul. So I don't know. I don't know the years exactly, but maybe that gives you
This
a
would be
more of a
like
window.
1820s, 1830s, something like that.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
Project was completely abandoned after he was defeated for the first time. So
Do you
a
know
little
the
bit of a
name of the
window.
engineer? Do you know the
yes,
name of the
I do,
engineer?
because of a very fun fact. His name, wait,
Uh-huh.
I wrote it down. It was Charles Michel Roquefort, which is the same name as the cheese, because he was from the town where the cheese was
Okay.
invented, and his
Yeah,
family
Charles
was, I don't
Michel.
know, they had some type of connection to that town. They weren't in charge of it
Okay.
at the time.
I have my vote. Does everyone else have theirs?
I have mine
I
too.
want to ask something before we go.
Uh-huh.
Did you know this story in advance, or did you research for this story when Possible History asked you to come up with something?
I researched most of the details. I knew like of the general idea behind it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'll give you an
All
answer.
right. Then you
Okay,
can all
one.
put in your guesses.
Uh-huh.
Right. We're missing Ezekiel.
Right,
There it is.
there we go.
All right.
No, it's not 50-50. Oh, it is.
Ooh, okay.
let's
For the
see.
first
Finally,
time,
good split.
divided vote.
All right. So for the people at home, Kraut said false, Revignon said true, Rewriting History said true, and Come Ezekiel said false. Are you ready to reveal the truth? General knowledge.
Yes. Yes. So it is absolutely a lie.
Wow.
No!
We're back in it.
Every
Can you
single
tell
detail
me-
was a lie.
What was inspired by it? Since the first time I heard it, I was like, it sounds very familiar.
It was inspired by an article that I read about the Napoleon movie, where they actually built a mechanical horse for the actor in the movie.
Ah,
Hmm.
Interesting.
Ah.
all right.
See, it seemed plausible. Oh well.
Yeah, I think Chat raised a good point. Like, without steam power, why would Napoleon do this? Like, what's the point behind just that's a nice looking horse made of metal?
It wouldn't move. Yeah, that's true.
Mm, okay.
Like what would even be used to power this thing? But also, I just
People.
really like the idea of Napoleon just
Yeah,
constructing this as a plaything and him like riding it like a toddler. That's
No,
It's around
I
the
mean,
like-
fellas.
it would be powered
Just
by
like
a person
pedals.
inside the metal suit.
Whee! Like a bike. I don't know. In my mind, it was kind of like a, because he said it was a concept, right? I thought they made it run on like rail, and there were technologies back then that worked like that. You know, like
I got suspicious when you brought up the cheese. Oh, it's from the same name as the town.
Maybe that was a little too far. I wanted to sound more French.
Yeah.
Guys, if I lose, please make me make an
by
alternate
the
history
way-
video about this where Napoleon just goes full steampunk.
oh
And-
yeah,
No, see, the
Wunderwaffe
thing is that
Napoleon. I want to see
Conquers,
it.
yeah.
By the way,
No, see, the thing
I
is that
just wanted to
okay,
ask.
thought.
I wanted to ask: Do any of you have any secondary questions prepared? Because I actually do, in case we wanted to play longer.
Oh,
Secondary?
Don't know.
it just
Yeah.
another story.
Oh,
I can come
just
up with
had
something
one.
on the spot.
Okay.
I have
I can come. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was
I
about to
could-
say
I could do the
I have
same.
two more stories prepared. One is just my story for you guys all to guess. The other one
Mhm.
was meant as like a tiebreaker. But if you guys want and have more stories to tell, we can keep going.
Oh, I can.
Okay, I have one. I
Who
have one
goes?
as well.
I'm game.
All right.
Yeah, I can find one.
I have to ask you, possible history. Can you share images that I send you with the audience in chat?
I will have
Is
to
this
move
question-
around some things, but I should be able to.
Okay.
All right.
Then
So if you... Then let's see. I did not plan for this.
sorry if
I-
this is too inconvenient.
Okay.
then.
Oh, no problem. I was literally about to ask this exact question once I was done doing my story. But shall I do my story now, and then we
Yes,
can do
yes.
another round of yours, if you like?
Yes, yes.
All right. So, in that case, we're moving on to my story, because Alternate History Hub sadly couldn't make it today, so his story will not be featured. My story is that during the Viking explorations of North America and the settling of Vinland, they gave milk to a native tribe, and the native tribe thought they were being poisoned.
Is that recorded history or a Viking saga?
It is in the Viking saga.
I see.
If I download.
Are you telling me sagas aren't real history?
No,
So
that's
I'm
what I'm
going to
saying.
preface immediately, like, obviously the Viking saga itself is already disputed whether it's real or not. But
Yeah.
assuming that the Viking saga is the real tale of how the Vikings colonized it, this is the tale.
I just want to clarify. If you would have said it is recorded history, I would have said, yeah, you're lying. That's what I meant. That's why I have
Yeah, very fair.
questions on me. I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's easy.
Do the people of Greenland continue to tell that story? Like, is it something that they would know?
It's Vinland, not Greenland.
Yeah, it's in Finland. It's in North America, not Greenland. So I wouldn't know
Oh,
about
okay.
if they tell it in Greenland still.
I'm at your mercy. I haven't read the Viking sagas. You did, didn't you, Havenyor? You should know this.
Oh,
Yeah, I am. I am confused.
Possible history. I'm going to download.
Was
the
it,
entire series
What
of
animal did the
Vikings.
milk come from?
it came from a cow.
How did they transport the cow or the milk across the ocean?
They
That's-
transported the cow.
So the milk
across
would
the
have
ocean.
curdled
Is it-
by then.
No. Here's the thing, right? Because it could be possible. There's a very rare but known milk liquor in Scandinavia that people did take on like travels. So
Yeah, but they also
is it
just
that
took
or
the
is
entire-
it like?
There was an actual
Oh,
in this. Yeah,
Wait.
It's got to be
But
one
they both-
miserable cow traveling across the North Sea.
Yeah.
you need your milk, man. Come on.
Nah, that.
Good for the bones.
okay.
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
You're
False.
already ready to
yeah,
vote?
false.
Oh, I'm already
Yeah, I'm
false.
saying false.
I'm ready to
Yeah, I'm
vote
saying
now.
it's false.
True, I believe every
Alright,
word of it.
Let me ask the chat.
Yeah, no, the
That's a good
Right, let's
logic.
start
Yeah.
the poll.
I mean, that was
that's
what I was thinking.
All right.
me too.
that's-
But I would also. Well, I'll give my reasoning after the.
Yeah, we're giving the
After the
chat
result.
a couple of seconds to vote before I reveal the answer.
Mm.
So far, the vote is relatively close. Oh, it no longer is. I lied.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Let's see who actually got it right. You did. And you did. And all right. So, with that chat, Kraut voted false, Revignon voted false, General Knowledge voted true, Rewriting History voted true, and Call Me Ezekiel also voted true. For the contestants here, chat actually voted true as well. So this story is false. It is not in the Vinland Saga at all. It is based on an interpretation of events within the Vinland saga, where a cow went on the loose and completely destroyed a native village. And in order to make amends, the Vikings were like, "Oh no, cows are good animals. Here is some milk," which then obviously poisoned the lactose-intolerant natives, which led them to attack. That is the interpretation some people got from the story, but that is not actually in there. That's all we know is that the native tribe attacked them after trading with them. That is all the information presented in the Vinland saga. So the story is false. With that, I suppose this is now the halfway point. Kraut is leading with 9 points, followed by Revignon with 6, GeneralKnowledge with 4, Chat also at 4, and Call Me Ezekiel and Rewriting History at 2.
Ezekiel, let's form a coalition.
Our combined power would not get us out of last place.
We can do it. We're still better than alternate.
That is very depressing.
Yeah, the comeback will happen. Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom 3 players can team up, and they're still not beating Kraut.
Yeah, believe in the power of the cards. Something like
So
do we?
we're doing like. Yeah, I mean, everyone who has like a story or wants to make up a story on the spot.
I can. I have one on the ready.
I have one too.
I have one I could say. I have one I could add. So
right, let's let
who
Kraut
wants
start, or should we do Kraut last?
No, you
Have
decide.
some. I think we're gonna do Kraut last because if he tells a story and he fools everyone, then he's gonna be in the lead by such an amount that any tension is gone. So let's start with
That's
someone
true.
else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can start. If
Does
you want.
anyone? Sure.
All right, Revignon.
Okay.
If we want to add tension, we could have double points for the second round.
Oh, that is actually a good point. Let's do double points for the last round.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let me think.
We got a chance.
Let's go.
Mm.
Also, if
Okay,
possible,
let me think of it.
try to type to me what your story is going to be and whether it's true or false, so I know what to expect.
Okay.
I will let you know once I know.
Okay.
Right now, I'm asking ChatGPT.
So, all right. Well, this is a story about the first time that parachutes, I wouldn't say paragliders because they weren't really paragliders, but like a technology resembling the parachute was employed in a war, like in a combat scenario. This was during the Mexican-American War, in the defense of California. So something about the Mexican-American War that's not exactly super well known is that it had 2 theaters. The main theater that has a lot of the attention is like the invasion of Napoleon and the like march that came downwards towards Mexico City, which Santana completely miscalculated, right? And then, he basically messed that up. But there was another theater that was fought mostly for American control of the northern territories. And there was a smaller division there. It was like a different company. I don't believe it was led by Perry. I think it was led by another admiral. And during the defense of the city of Los Angeles, there was a corps of Mexican like experimental riflemen that used a very primitive type of parachute to essentially try to flank the American troops. Though the operation succeeded, right? So, the landing itself was successful. It was not enough to make that much of a tactical difference. And eventually, the troops defending California, which weren't that many to begin with, did eventually fall to the American attack. And yeah.
I have a question. Was this strategy something that was planned ahead of time, or did they sort of come up with it in the moment?
Oh, it was known, like the technology was kind of imagined, right? So like in the Mexican barracks, this was something that people were kind of aware about, and I guess they were looking for an opportunity to use it, and they came about with that opportunity to use it because the geography was there, but it wasn't like, people were anticipating in advance, like years before, like, yeah, we have this, we're going to use it.
I also have a question.
What year and war was this?
It's the Mexican War, so 1847, 1848.
Is this story inspired by the French when they discovered, I think, parachutes because they wanted to give them to firefighters who were fleeing buildings on fire? Is this story inspired by this one?
The technology was known, but I think the Mexican development was different. So though I guess people would have been aware about what the French were doing, it was more like a development by a Mexican admiral called Mondragon. So yeah.
What platform did they jump off of?
It was like just mountain. I don't know. I'm guessing a cliff. Yeah. It was facilitated by the fact that the geography was friendly, so that helped in the angle. But yeah. It was the first use of parachutes in a military context. If not in the world, it was the first time in North America.
Okay. I'm ready to give an answer.
Yeah, I'm ready as well.
I'm ready too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then let's post. I did the count of 3. 1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Oh,
Split. There we go.
yeah. I think it's false.
It is false, yeah.
I think it's
I was the
inspired
only
by
one.
French one.
Was tricked.
Yeah. No, there are reasons to believe it's
The
true.
year felt too early.
No, I think that France actually used it at the time. Like they were developing
Yeah,
radar
yeah.
people to fly. But
It's when you said defense of Los Angeles. That does not click. Los Angeles was a little monastery town at that
cares?
time. Los Angeles was founded in 1776. It was barely big enough to defend during that war.
Yes, but there was a defense of Alta California, yeah. So you did have like a defense of Los Angeles.
Yeah, you gave it away when you said defense of Los Angeles, though. You did.
No.
That was
Like
what you did.
there was a defense of Los Angeles, but it was like not that detailed.
Also, the winds blow down from the Sierra Madre Mountains into the Pacific, if I'm not
That
mistaken.
is very true. Yeah.
So they would have parachuted into the
I just
Pacific
kind of wish
Ocean.
they did it modern style where they were jumping out of hot air balloons.
No, that would have been way too complicated.
Like there's one
Big
soldier in each of the
investment.
balloons because there's not enough space for them.
Good story, though. Good story.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Turns out I was muted for that entire section, so my bad. But I'm back now.
Welcome back.
Is there anyone who wants to volunteer being the next one?
I can be
I can
the
go.
one after I'm writing my story now.
You're
I have
writing
my
your story
story
now.
ready.
That is.
No, I'm getting some notes because I don't want to come put stuff on the spot.
No, fair enough.
Because
I'll
somebody
say
asked me,
though-
can you tell me his name?
I'll
And
say
I'm like,
though-
wait, let me see.
I'll say though that the Mexican government alleges that some version of this story is real.
No,
Uh, but the documentation is like incredibly scarce. So I made up something on the spot based on like what I know about it.
Who's next?
Yeah, who's next? Who wants to go?
I can go next.
I can go if you want.
All right. Let's give it to general knowledge for now.
Okay, so my story is how in the Viking Age, there was one particular, like, pretty famous Viking who died I would say, the stupidest death a Viking could die at the time, which was he carried around a severed head of one of his enemies on his horse, and the teeth of that head grazed him, I think, on the leg, and he got an infection to the point that he ended up dying because of it.
Definitely sounds like something that could happen. It's a shame that we all vote at the same time because I know you read the Viking sagas.
Guys, I think I should download the Vikings TV series.
Is the documentation here a saga or proper records?
Sorry?
Sorry, I'm talking over people. My connection's horrible. Was this proper documentation, or was this a Viking saga?
I'm not 100% sure of the authenticity of the story. I think it's pretty established that it is a historical fact.
I'm gonna gamble.
Where was the death documented? So like, I'm guessing it's written on like what kind of document?
This I read this on a Wikipedia binge reading thing.
It definitely sounds like something that could happen because getting cut and infected, that a lot of people died like that.
True.
Yeah.
How likely are you to carry a severed head with you? That's got to be stinking real bad, real fast. And horses don't like bad scents.
And how long does it even stay like infectious once it's a dead head? You know.
I'm not to be totally honest. I'm not sure if this was a scenario where he killed the guy and he was taking it back somewhere, or if he was like, "This is gonna be on me at all times now."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna vote. Is everyone else ready?
Everyone at the
I'm ready.
All right.
At the count of 3 or... Ooh.
Ooh. We're still missing. Oh, I need to let chat vote. Sorry, chat.
Okay.
We all said it's true.
Just leaving him in the cold like that.
Yeah, I mean they're currently beating 3 of our contestants, so it would be unfair.
Down.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you're doing so bad. Step it up, Ezekiel.
The
Come on.
chat is like, well, at least you're beating Cody. Like,
That is true. Cody is technically in last place, so. All right. Chat is overwhelmingly voting that the story is true, which makes everyone's vote be true. So, general knowledge, do you want to reveal?
Yes, it is true.
Okay.
All right.
Down. No, if it was a false story, you'd be like super ahead right now.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been worth.
Very good.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Comeback of the century.
For another time, it will be quick if you also get a point if you deceive the chat.
They do get a point if they deceive chat.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
But so far, chat
So-
has been, I think, the most accurate. They just haven't got around to tell a story and gain points that way.
Well, imagine having
Yeah.
internet.
We gotta
Google.
make the rounds faster so they can't look it up in time.
Well, it's impossible.
That's
It's
possible,
impossible.
but also it's still possible then, and you would not be able to really ask questions. So
Yeah.
it would make it more difficult.
Yeah.
So, especially
Yeah.
assuming that you guys are not looking at chat too much, it shouldn't be an issue. Let chat do their thing. They can't win anyway because they don't have the tell story round. But with that, Ezekiel, rewriting history. Does either of you want to tell a tale?
I have mine ready. Do you want me to send sources, or you said you wanted to tell me if it's true or false or stuff like
Yeah,
that? Like,
at
what do you
least
need?
tell me if it's true or false. But if you want to send a source, that's fine as well.
1 second, I can do that.
I'll send you the source as well. It's an image.
There we go.
All right.
So let me read from my text document because I'm very bad with speaking, coming up with stuff on the spot. So the Spanish discovered the art of rolling tobacco into cigars when the Spaniards visited the modern-day Dominican Republic, so the island of Hispaniola. And these products were brought back to Europe naturally, and as you all should know, they were loved by the continent pretty much. And as a result, Spain became very rich even before they discovered the sugar plantations. So Spain expanded this industry of tobacco growing in Hispaniola, and the island became one of the most developed places in the world, I would say, because it was the first Spanish-speaking country to have its own railroad, and it was from the provinces up to the port. And growing tobacco became so profitable that later, when other countries colonized the Caribbean, they wanted to grow sugar as well. But in Hispaniola, tobacco was so profitable that pretty much people who worked in sugar plantations on the island were employed as rolling tobacco into cigars. So the interesting thing is, and the key of the story, once Cuba was discovered or properly colonized, let's say, 100,000 people were moved from Hispaniola to Cuba because the climate was better for making cigars.
What were the cigars wrapped on?
What? Wrapped off? I didn't understand the question.
Like the wrap.
Yeah,
is
it's all
leaves.
leaves. It's all tobacco.
Okay. Are these more? No, never mind. It's kind of like a stupid question. Yeah.
I feel really stupid.
I was
now
going to say that if this is false, I was going to say that's because he was swapping Hispaniola with Cuba, but the Cuba thing has me rethinking that.
Do you want me to copy paste you what I wrote into my thing if you didn't, like into the chat? You know what? There you go.
I want to say
I'm bad at speaking.
I want to say false because the tobacco trade didn't really kick off until like the 1700s, and it was mainly the British who ran it.
I mean, I think the question
Well-
I'm wondering is like, how much later
No,
was
but
Cuba colonized to Hispaniola?
Hispaniola was first. That's
So I
the
guess you
thing,
can
though.
ask me
And
questions
Cuba-
because I'm the person
Oh,
who can
okay.
answer, you know.
True.
Kraut, if you want, I can answer pretty much 80 to 90% of the
Who was
cigar plants.
purchasing this tobacco?
Wait, let me answer, Kraut, because this is important to give you detail. 80 to 90% of all tobacco names are in Spanish. So even if the British were trading it the most, it was grown mostly by Spanish people. Basically, all European countries who could afford it. It's like the higher class. Even it reached the Ottoman Empire. Like pretty much everybody.
I can vote. I feel ready to vote. I don't know about you guys.
Is the rest ready to vote? Then I will also put it up to chat.
You want some more information before you make your conclusion?
You're free to say more if you want rewriting.
Yeah,
Well-
just
One brand of cigars that I like is called Joyo de Monterrey, and it translates from Spanish to the hoe in Monterrey. And paradoxically, this shouldn't have happened since Monterrey is located in Spain, and there is, I don't know how to say it, but it's surrounded by hills. And this was originally in Cuba.
I would say that there are like multiple Monterreys like across the Spanish colony. So
Oh, sure, but you call
Maybe
it Joyo
the-
de Monterrey. So it's not like the
okay.
city needs to, like the city has the exact characteristics of the Mexican city that are like one ocean apart.
When were the sugar plantations replaced with tobacco plantations?
In the 1830s, because then tobacco really came, it really became popular after that. And when you look at most cigar manufacturers that are alive today, they mostly started in the 1830s or 1820s. You know, the first half of the 1800s, to be as most accurate as possible.
it sounds plausible. Well, blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna come out and say that I'm voting
Yeah,
true.
fair enough.
I'm voting
if you're
true.
ready
I'm
to
voting true.
Vote.
False.
False. I say false.
Who said false?
I said false. Revenue said true.
I'm the only one who said true.
Rewriting
Let's see
history.
the chat.
Do you want to reveal?
For-
The chat is also going false by a wide margin.
It's not that wild. It's 40-60% on my screen at least.
It is 40-60, but that's a relatively wide margin.
Yeah, the story is completely made up. Absolutely.
No!
I knew
think
it! I knew it! I knew
It's
it!
inspired by something. I don't know why nobody commented that the island of Hispaniola became the first Spanish-speaking country to have its own railroad. So this means that Spain decided to build the railroads in Hispaniola instead of in Spain.
Spain,
And
yeah.
This actually happened in
Yeah.
Cuba.
By the
I
time
feel like I'm
of-
cheating. I feel like I'm cheating because I knew about this, because I read books about the
Ah.
tobacco industry, its history, and I know that
No, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
it was
Exactly.
completely dominated by the British. My
Oh yeah,
God.
it
Yeah.
was. And the thing is that nobody even mentioned that 100,000 people were moved from Hispaniola to Cuba, which also I completely made up.
Yeah, for me, the 100,000 was a real giveaway because that's so many people in relatively newly colonized America. Because Cuba wasn't colonized that much after Hispaniola.
That didn't seem all that implausible to me, because when you consider, for example, that the British moved like 80,000 Acadians from, like, you know, Terra Nova to Louisiana, like moving 10,000 people across an island seems like a dramatically less ambitious operation. So, like, yeah.
That's
I mean, I was
100,000 people, though.
But I also made it seem
Oh,
like it was
I-
very profitable. So
I
people
can
would
tell
go
you a fun fact.
themselves.
I can
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
a fun fact. The British actually figured out that tobacco was unhealthy and caused like severe damages to your lungs in the 1600s. And when they figured that out, the first thing they did was, we need to sell this to the French, and they tried to get accepted in the trading cargoes to the French. And when that didn't work, they just started selling it to the Irish first. So like, yeah, and then they had to
Very
get their own
nice.
population. Yeah,
But moral of the story, Cuba is the first Spanish-speaking country to have its own railroad. They were
Nice.
faster than Spain, exactly because of tobacco. So
Yeah.
it was inspired by Cuba's case.
Down.
And I mentioned Juego de Monterrey because I wanted to confuse you, because I thought that more people would vote true, because I'm just speaking words that make sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, it worked on me. It worked on me. So yeah.
True.
I mean,
I mean, I was suspicious with how much information you volunteered up front.
Yeah, that's always a little bit like, wow, that's a big info dump.
That's a good learning lesson for next time. Just mention 5 sentences and be done.
Yeah, Hispaniola, and just leave it at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Call me
Okay.
Ezekiel. Do you want to go next? And then we can finish off with Kraut, who is currently
sure.
still leading with 15 points.
seriously?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ezekiel, you're basically the only one with a chance of surpassing him if you really nail this story. So, Godspeed.
Oh, let's go. All right, so my observation last time is doing me no favors here, so I will just give you the short anecdote. This was during the Battle of Khalkhin Gol. A couple of Japanese officers were overheard complaining about the performance of their men, and this letter they sent home found its way up to the emperor, who told them that you're their officers, you're in charge here, take matters into your own hands. These officers interpreted this as an order to commit seppuku or some kind of honorable suicide. Seppuku is a specific type. So they donned their family's samurai armor, picked up their samurai swords, and charged the Russian lines, where they were shot down and killed.
Based.
That totally sounds like something that would have happened, to be honest.
It does sound plausible, yeah. But I don't know. Like at this point, the Taisho reforms were like deeply in place. Military philosophy was very different. I think that that like kamikaze style philosophy was revived by
This is
Showa, but
Kalkin
not
Gall
by
for the
Tanjiro.
record.
Kalkan go.
So it's during the Russo-Japanese War.
It was
I
a
guess,
border
you know?
conflict. It was a border conflict, I think, like 37 or 38 between the Japanese and the Soviet Union fought in Mongolia.
Oh.
There is a World War II nerd in the chat right now who I can guarantee you could tell you everything you want to know about it.
Looking at chat. You couldn't look at
I was
chat.
just going to say that.
I'm
I'm
not
not
looking
looking
at
at
it.
Yeah, we should.
I just know he's there.
Okay,
Don't
okay,
tempt
fair.
me. Don't
I can
tempt.
confirm he is there.
Don't tempt me.
Nice.
I don't want to.
Shout out to you. Go touch grass after this.
Okay.
I say we
I'm
will
gonna.
make a letter,
I'm gonna-
send it to Paradox, and it's like this event is scripted, and you pretty much lose like 5 manpower after that.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like you might have just lied about one little detail, like the armor. Did they really don the armor? Like, what was the armor?
Yes.
They donned the armor.
I don't know what armor it was. All I know is that a lot of the officers were taking their ancestral equipment with them on campaign. The whole thing was a
I'm
very
gonna-
informal affair. It was not a declared war between the Japanese and the Russians, but there were huge numbers of soldiers fighting. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure it was Zhukov commanding the Russians.
I'm
Oh,
gonna say
yeah.
it's false.
I'm gonna say
it's false.
I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna say it's
Ooh.
true.
I think it's true.
Oh, ooh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I forgot to ask chat again. Sorry, chat.
It's so easy to forget.
Also, bro, history. If I
Where are
edit
my World War
message-
II nerds at?
All right, let's give chat a little while to answer while I look at the answers. I actually don't know if this is true or false myself, so I come to
Yes.
the point yet. But everyone has voted, right? Yes, perfect. All right. So it seems that everyone except for Revignon is again on the same page. Though chat is also leaning false with you, Revignon, so you're not alone. Ezekiel, do
Yeah.
you want to reveal?
The World War II nerds in the chat are right. It did not happen at the Battle of Kalkin Gall. This incident did occur, but during the siege of Port Arthur in the Russo-Japanese War.
Yeah. Yeah. When you said it happened in like the border with Mongolia, I was like, why would the Soviet Union fight like the Japanese in Manchukuo?
Oh no, the battle's real. Kalkin Gall
The
happened.
battle happens.
Oh, yeah,
That is
yeah,
fact.
There was like a huge number of troops involved. It was wild.
Okay, then I was right, but
And
for
Zhukov was the
wrong reason.
commander.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, just so you know, I voted on purpose wrong because we are in coalition, and now you're in first place.
Very smart.
Yes, check is in the mail. Good work.
There you go.
Okay.
So with that, chat, Revignon, and Komi Ezekiel have got a bunch of points, which makes the score right now 15-15 between Ezekiel and Kraut. Meaning that unless everyone
Let's
gets Kraut's
go.
story
Total
wrong,
Ezekiel comeback.
we might have a tie. But Kraut, it's time for you to tell your story.
Yeah, this story is tiebreaker.
The biggest police operation in the history of communist Romania happened in March 1979. The dictator of communist Romania, Nicolae Ceausescu, went on a state visit to France in March 1979. And as was custom during state visits, he stood next to the French president, Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, at the playing of the national anthems. Now, Ceausescu was 5'1", I think, or 5'2" or something like that. And Valéry Giscard d'Estaing was notoriously almost 6 foot something, like a really tall guy. And they stood next to each other while pictures were taken of them as the national anthem played. And when Ceausescu saw these pictures, he was furious. He was absolutely mad because he looked like a manlet. and he ordered the papers in Romania to do something about it, to change the image somehow, so that it didn't look like a manlet. So what the state censors did was they photoshopped a hat on Ceausescu's head. And then the papers went to print, and in the morning the papers were spread out among the public. But then, as the papers were already being dished out to the public, a member of the censorship bureau suddenly noticed that Ceausescu was already holding his hat in his hand. And in panic, they ordered a massive police operation, during which they confiscated every single paper that was issued that day and burnt them. Yeah. So, is that true or false?
All right, what a tale.
It sounds crazy enough to be true.
Kinda.
I think I know
Detailed
the
as
answer,
well.
but I'm gonna throw my opponents off. Ceausescu did really care a lot about his image, which can be seen in his palace, which is the heaviest building in the whole world.
Heaviest?
Yeah, the heaviest.
That's a weird record to
Could you-
find set.
Could you tell us like the height in centimeters, maybe? Yeah, for the sake of...
Centimeters. I'd have to look it up. I only did. Ceausescu was a midget. He was like 5 foot.
5'1" is like
and
160.
5'1"
Yeah,
And
I think
Villa-
160.
Yeah,
You're half French. You know that Valéry Giscard d'Estaing was like really tall.
yeah. He was like unusually tall for like a French person as well. Yeah.
I'll look up his height in centimeters. No, I don't know how to write his name.
Now,
Gotcha.
guys, a
Uh,
quick strategic note. The only way we
I'll s-
tie is by all voting correctly and all
Yeah,
voting
that's true.
together.
That is true.
We have to all agree.
Oh, that is
D-
devious. He was actually
Okay, then-
168.
I mean,
Not that bad.
168.
I assume
So-
it would be worse.
What kind of hat was it? Was it like a really tall top hat?
Yes, it was a tall fur hat. A traditional Romanian fur hat out of, I presume, goat fur.
And were
Yeah,
the
yeah,
2
they're
hats
like
the
those-
same? The one in his hand and the one on his head?
Yes. He had 2 tall hats, one in his hand and one in on his head. Sorry.
Okay, and when was this state visit?
In 1979. Sorry, March 1979.
March. Okay, you could wear a fur hat in March. If it was summer, I'd be asking some questions.
My dad was like 8 years old. I wonder if he saw that. Yeah. Mm.
It's like who wants to be a millionaire, you just call a friend, help you out.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm personally leaning false.
I was
I don't
also
have
going
much to go
say
on.
that. I would support you in that since we're doing the teamwork just so we
Yeah,
can
so
keep
are
up
you
the
guys-
tie.
Can we
all
ask
voting
chat?
together,
Oh no,
or-
they can look it up.
hmm.
We have to go together unless someone wants to break.
Yeah. I haven't heard
But
of
if we
this,
break,
and,
Kraut wins.
Yeah.
like,
I'll
doesn't
take
matter.
I'll take that risk. Yeah, I'll take that risk.
Considering that I'm from Bulgaria, if this happened, I think that I would have
So
heard
we
of
all
it.
want to vote
No.
false, or do we have questions?
The first time I heard it, I was like false, because if this happened, I think that I would have heard of it. That's my logic and reasoning. I knew that he cared a lot about his appearance, but let me tell you about something that Kraut said earlier. He said that, what was it exactly? He asked, I don't remember who, I think that he asked Ezekiel if this actually happened or if a tiny detail has been changed. And I think that he asked it because he's doing this himself. So maybe this visit happened and all of
I
this
have that
happened.
suspicion.
But maybe it wasn't a fur hat, or maybe it wasn't something else. Or maybe the newspapers weren't burnt, they just took the L or something like that.
Firstly, I would say that's.
I feel like if there's a lie, it will be that it was the
call
largest
Kraut on that.
operation.
Sorry, what?
If it is just it's false because it's a different type of hat, then I wouldn't count that.
Well, but maybe
if
it's
if
like
it's a
a lot
change
more.
that minor.
The only thing I have to go off of that makes me think it's false is that Kraut spent a bit of time trying to come up with what hat it was. So he was likely making it up because if he knew we would have answered, and if he was looking it up, he would have needed more time.
But he already had something in advance, so he was ready and he was the person who initiated this.
But would he specifically know the type of hat?
Well, why not?
I think you're counting over very little hairs. That's probably not that important.
I have another funny
So what
story.
else do we have to work with?
I have another funny story if you can't agree on this one, so I'll leave it up to you.
No. I think we should settle this one, given it started. So
I'm leaning false.
If no one has any more questions, I say we all vote false.
I'm going to burn my Bulgarian citizenship if this is true. Don't quote me.
Ooh. All right.
Actually, I think I have my passport here.
okay.
So is the entire
am-
coalition going false on this one?
Yes.
I am
Yes.
strike breaking and saying it's true.
Ooh.
What?
All right.
Traitor.
Then Kraut won by default.
No, he can still tie. But can he? Chat also voted true.
No,
by
this is
the
the last question.
way. Yeah. No, you're right.
Oh, well, Chad, all right.
Kraut, will you reveal?
I'll add the link.
Why didn't we remember
Yeah.
if you can? Because this is what he asked for. Earlier he asked if... Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the thing I'm not
Was
so
the
sure if
president
it
of
was
France
the
really
largest-
tall?
He was
Well, I think it's
really
covered.
tall. Yeah, yeah, he was like unusually tall for even like French people, I guess. He was like
He
2
was Dutch.
meters.
Yeah, in that image, he
Oh,
looks
I see. Okay.
absolutely massive.
But it's like it doesn't even look like he's holding his hat. Like
But the-
Ceausescu, I mean. It's more like he's holding, I don't know, a bag or something.
Yeah, the funniest thing about this story is that nobody noticed that he was already holding his hat. And then in the morning, someone in the office realized, oh yeah, wait. And then they called all the securitates, what the police was called in Romania, the secret police. And they literally went out from street to street, from house to house, and collected all the newspapers. So that to make sure that nobody saw that image. And then they burned all the
Yeah.
newspapers on that day.
Crazy.
I don't doubt that
Uh-huh.
Ceausescu would do such a thing. I just didn't think that nobody would notice that he had 2 hats, you know.
Yeah.
Damned.
All right.
I knew about this beforehand. I'm sorry. I
He gave me ideas from where to
Revan-
take inspiration.
Revan,
Okay, I can
you
give
had
you
the
the third one.
opportunity to tie it. You could have just told them. I know this.
Imagine. Traitor.
I have a third
Uh,
story here that I prepared. I can give you that for fun if you want. If we already
Oh,
done.
for fun, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. When the communist dictator of Czechoslovakia, Klement Gottwald, died, the leadership of the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia wanted to embalm his body like that of Lenin in a mausoleum. But so he died in 1953. But the doctors tasked with that job screwed it up, and Gottwald's body began to rot. But despite rotting away in the mausoleum, the party faithful kept coming to the mausoleum, pretending as if the stench wasn't there, and saluting the corpse and marveling at the corpse. And this macabre spectacle continued until 1962 for 9 entire years.
Holy shit. That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
That is very gross. Yeah.
And that actually happened.
I was also going to say, Troy, you didn't give us the opportunity. I can share a few stories now that we're doing it for fun. Because after you said this from Ceausescu, I remembered a YouTube channel that shares some unbelievable stuff in a short videos, and I just looked some of the catalog, and I remember a lot of them. So it's not like such a long story, but basically there was a typo on the Australian banknotes for like 20 years and nobody noticed because nobody was looking at what it's actually spelled on the banknotes, and second, because it was written before Photoshop and all that. It was still designed by a computer, but basically there wasn't this line where if the word is wrong, it lets you know. So it was before that. So nobody noticed for 20 years that the Australian currency has a typo.
You know, there's a famous urban legend here in Vienna. This is This is actually a true story. The energy company here in this city is nationalized. Energy here is nationalized, right? Belongs to the city. And so it's a state bureaucracy system. And there was a guy who worked for that company who was alone, like a lonely guy, not married, didn't have any relatives, who died in his apartment. And his body began rotting away in his apartment. And for the next 15 years, he didn't turn up to work, but he was never fired. His paychecks kept collecting up while he rotted away in his apartment and turned into a skeleton. And the moment they noticed that he had died 15 years ago was when they were giving him a promotion at that job.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, this reminds me of something
Sounds like he
similar.
deserves it.
In the United States, there was a story where one guy was ordering pizza very frequently, like once every evening for like 10 years. And one time he didn't order, and you know, the staff was very used to him calling at 8 p.m. and ordering the same pizza for like 10 years. And when he didn't call, the staff was very concerned, and they called the police on him, and he was indeed having trouble, some sort of heart attack. And he managed to survive because the staff called an ambulance for him, which is a true story.
I see. Yeah.
So,
Alright.
PH, I want to know, what's the final score tally?
I was about to reveal it, but chat has been pressuring me for about half an hour to get a chat story. So,
How?
just for
Okay.
fun,
They bullied
Wow.
you into it.
let's allow chat their indulgence with their final story. The story they have coalesced behind is after Prohibition, ice cream was used to boost the US Navy morale during World War I, which made ice cream an obsession for the Navy to such an extent that the US spent $1 million at that time, so that's a lot more now, on a specialized ice cream barge to travel between the ships of the Navy.
I'm gonna be the first one to call this out. You said that this happened in the First World War, right?
I did say this happened in the First World War.
What about the Prohibition? Didn't it happen? Didn't Prohibition happen after the First World War?
I know that
No,
the
just
ice cream
during-
barge is real, but
What was it?
I know that the ice cream barge is real, but it existed during the Second World War in the Pacific.
Wait, I'm checking with chat now. This is obviously this is not my story. Chat.
Damn.
What?
Yeah,
Was-
Prohibition happened after the First World War, and you said that this happened.
Oh, so yeah,
during-
were the ice cream barges in World War I or World War II?
They went World War II.
They were still in
Yeah.
World War II. They said.
So are we all calling false?
Yeah,
Well,
I
I mean,
think
Yeah,
possibly-
it's
Yeah,
World
that's
War
right.
II, then it's true.
That's for real, for real.
All
It
right.
was
So,
Yeah,
World
World
War
War
II,
II,
not World
it's
War I.
true.
true.
But in World War
Oh.
One,
Classic
It's not
mistake. Sorry, chat. The typo did you in.
Yeah.
It is, of course, a true story. All of you get 2 points, which means it doesn't actually
Yeah.
score. Oh, wait, actually, it does because it means that chat is no longer quite as dominant as they were.
Can we give 2
Damn,
points to
yeah.
Cody just because he's sitting at 0?
they brought.
Yes, I think so.
We
All
should
right,
do
go-
this again. This was
Absolutely.
really nice. We should
Yeah.
absolutely do this again.
Who made this typo? I immediately spotted it. It was like you said after the Prohibition in the First World War, and I was like, what?
It was Project X came up with the story for the chat. Sorry, chat. I tried. Next
Guys,
time
you're
I
too easy
will
to read.
allow the chat a more structured story.
Way of participating, yeah.
So with that,
Well,
the final scores are known, although I forgot to actually update Kraut's score. So starting at the bottom, we have general knowledge with, I mean, technically we have AlternateHistoryHub, but in reality we have general knowledge at 8 points.
I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't lose.
I don't know what.
No,
went
of
wrong.
course, yes.
Then we have rewriting history at 10 points. Going up from that, we have the chat with 14 points, barely beaten out by Revignon at 16, Ezekiel at 17, and the winner by a relatively wide margin is Kraut with 23 points. Congratulations.
Hey, well done.
Congratulations.
Please
Total
clap.
Ezekiel defeat.
I mean, you made a big comeback.
I was so
but-
hyped for that comeback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
also hyped for your comeback.
Next time is yours. Next time you're gonna win, probably. I
Most
want.
likely.
So, do we have to make those videos about German tax law now?
No, no.
German tax law, something
Everyone has
else.
to make a
doesn't
short
mean-
about German tax law.
I'm not going to punish
No.
you. Okay. I'm just, like before we went live, we said that the winner gets to punish everyone else with some demand for a video.
Yeah,
And I said, yeah, you all have to make videos about German tax law if I win. No, I'll say this. What do I? I'll punish all of you by asking you all that we do this again, and,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
and that you thank Possible History together with me for organizing this because this was fun.
No problem. It
very
was
good.
my pleasure.
I
you,
already know
Possible
my
History.
next.
Yeah,
story,
thanks for
so
having me
I'm-
on again.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Cody was amazing. Cody, stop.
Yes,
Yeah, so great to see Cody again.
Give
What a
it up.
guy.
Star of the show.
Yeah. MVP.
It's a time zone thing. Like it's a time zone thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's about to be 9 a.m. where I am, 10 a.m. where he is. So
By the way-
it's
Just so you know, if you schedule a stream at Australia o'clock when all the Australians are up, they're really grateful if you do that. Even if you just do it once. They're really grateful if you do a stream
That is
just for
fair
them.
enough.
at that time.
Yeah, Australians
Yeah.
always miss streams. It's really sad.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can
Right.
end the stream then. I think.
Bye bye.
yeah, okay.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye, chat. Thank you for showing up. Good effort. You guys were pretty accurate, all things considered. We hope to see you next time.
Yeah, because they were cheating.
Did they
Yeah,
make a
they were-
mistake even one time?
Don't
We need
say
to watch
that.
the
Don't act like we don't know.
I don't think that they made a mistake even one time.
No, they
Correct me.
did. I think I didn't keep track of it, but they definitely didn't get all points because then they would have 16 points. Am I saying that right?
Well,
Next
they
time you
made
can
one.
put up the chat as a player, like with a school. That would be cool. Maybe.
Oh, I have chat
Well,
up with
already there.
with a score.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, I overlooked
Yeah.
it. Sorry.
Yeah. They had a chance to win actually. Like if their viewer story tricked you guys, they would have actually clutched out the victory. But
Yeah.
And then
Not
we would have
already.
been punished by them.
Yeah, I was going to say
yeah,
that.
oh,
Don't worry.
imagine chat deciding.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, okay.
So we're very glad that Kraut won in retrospect.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
It
condition
was.
is that we meet again. We meet again and we do this again. This is really nice.
Eh,
All right.
And
So
let's
cheers,
try to get
chat.
more. I'll ask Laserpig if he can join us next time.
Oh, that would be really nice.
I'm gonna strategize for next time. I'm winning.
Yeah.
Mark